Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here bringing you a StarCraft commentary, and this is going to be from the OSL. We're done with the Pro Leagues, Grand Finals is finished, KT Rolster has won, and is your champion for the Pro League this season. But their top player, Flash, God himself, is competing now in the OSL, and this is going to be day 2, I guess, for the OSL round of 8, the quarterfinals. Flash is going to be facing Jangbi. Flash already has a 1-0 lead in this series from their first game played like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So Jangbi's got his work cut out for him. You all know that I am a huge Jangbi fanboy, and I want ever so much for him to find a way to win in this series. How he's going to do it, I don't know. Flash is just so freaking good. But this first map is Pathfinder, one of the weirdest playing maps you'll find. Basically, all of the normal stuff that happens doesn't happen on this map. There's a lot of like early drop play, like against Baby in the wildcard series. Jangbi went DT drop to defeat Baby, so that there's, you know, and drops basically occur every single game essentially that I've seen on this map. It's just so many drops. Someone always decides to go drops. It's very effective with your main surrounded. It's kind of in the middle, so drops can come from any angle, and it kind of lends itself to some really weird play. We do have Jangbi coming out with an early scout. Before even that pylon went down, this scout was already sent out. So I think Jangbi might be looking for a little bit of a gas steal here, seeing the pylon already go down. I think he's going to look for a gas steal. Unfortunately, he's going to run into the wrong base. This is a 3-person map, Pathfinder, and he's going to have to take the long route to Flash's base and discover that chances are I don't think he'll be there in time to do any sort of a gas steal. Hopefully, for those of us rooting for Jangbi as the lone Protoss left alive, and I don't know who that is, someone important, but hopefully he will at least be able to get a scout off. And there's the first gateway going down for Jangbi, so no 12 next here. And on the other side, we got the SCV scout coming out for Flash, and he is going to get the scout off in the correct direction off the bat. Jangbi about to, yeah, basically both of them are about to walk into each other's bases. And what are we going to see on this map? Like I said, drops are definitely possible. And what the hell? That SCV didn't actually go inside of Jangbi's base. Looking at it on the minimap, it turned around, so it almost went into Jangbi's base, then turned around and is going to go to the wrong base. So Flash is actually going to send this to the wrong spot and then be kicking himself in the head and have to turn around. And we'll see whether or not Jangbi is able to get maybe a Dragoon on that ramp or something like that in that time. To stop this scout from actually getting into his base. This should be interesting. That little mistake by Flash could end up hurting him significantly in the information battle. Jangbi, on the other hand, does have his probe into Flash's base, getting a nice scout on, seeing the gas go down, and I think the factory, yeah, there's the factory, so he's got a good idea of what's going on, and just being, he was being a little harassive to SCVs and things, nothing too important. And here he comes back with the probe, just annoying the, oh, whoa! Jangbi actually gets a kill with that probe. Would you look at that? Apparently he had harassed that SCV enough. I think that must have been the one building the barracks that he was actually able to take it down. So Jangbi with some nice probe work there, able to get a bonus kill. And if you look at the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you'll see the supply counts for both players. Jangbi up by 1 due to that SCV kill. Very cool. And now Flash's SCV finally turning around, coming back into Jangbi's base, gonna go up there and be like, oh, damn it, I should have been here the whole time, should have seen this the entire time. Well, that factory is just about completed, so he'll be ready for this. Dragoon range being upgraded. Doesn't look like Jangbi's willing to release any other details on his build yet, and Flash is going to start building that machine shop as he's getting that scout going on, and we'll see what this kind of, could be a siege expand, could be all early vulture play. We'll see what kind of upgrades he goes for. Usually it's just for that first tank, and then we'll see after that what he decides to go for. And it does look like we are going to have a little bit of a siege expand here. There's the command center. As soon as that probe got ushered out of Flash's base, Flash immediately threw down that command center, so Flash is going to be going for a siege expand here, and is going to be looking to take in a little bit of an economically. And Jangbi actually throwing down that robotics facility, revealing that to that scouting SCV. So Flash has seen this, and this could be a Reaver build, or it could be an OBS expand build. This is going to be interesting how Flash and Jangbi, what they decide to do and how they react to this. If this is a Reaver play, Flash has to be very prepared for this. He has to be ready with turrets, with his huge base being able to be approached from all directions. He has to have turrets in a couple different spots in key locations to defend his early tank. If this is sort of Reaver play, so he's going to have to get that engineering bay pretty quickly now. I think now that he's seen it. On the other hand, if this is just an obs expand for Jangbi, and actually kind of looks like it's going to be. We see him throwing down that Nexus right now. It looks like it could just be an obs expand, so I could be totally wrong. Not Reaver play, but I thought that could be what's coming. Stork and Cal on this map in the past both have had huge amounts of success with Reaver play, so thought Jangbi might try and emulate that, his Protoss counterpart at Samsung Khan's Stork, but I don't think he's going for that natural expansion already building, and yeah, I think his will actually be a little bit later. Flash's command center is already completed, so he's just going to have to float that down. So his second base will be a little bit later than Flash's. And I think with that, yeah, that was an observatory that we saw warping in. So this does look like an obs expand for Jangbi. Jangbi with that probe is going to see this command center, and it looks like it's going to get blown up by this. Yeah, there it goes. It just gets blown up by the obscene range of those tanks. So how's Jangbi going to respond to this? Is he going to go 2-base power? I don't think he wants to. I think he's going to be behind if he goes 2-base power. I really do. So I think he's going to have to take a quick third base. On the other hand, Flash throwing up that engineering bay because he did see that robo and hasn't had any more scouting information. If you look at his base, no academy yet. He doesn't have any scans, so he doesn't know exactly what Jangbi's doing at this point. It does look like Jangbi's going to take that third base, so he doesn't know, but he still probably suspects the possibility of a Reaver coming in his direction, so he's still got to be worried about that, and Jangbi having some trouble with the probe transfer. They're being really dumb in between that assimilator and the gateways and pylon, just struggling with that a little bit, and Jangbi's going to take that third base with the third gas at the 10 o'clock expo. Behind each of the bases, kind of towards the outside of the map, there are mineral-only expansions that players will take a little bit later into the game, but they are available as well, so there are some mineral onlys on this map. And there's the observer getting into Flash's base, scouting out everything, seeing the number of factories and the tech and the number of tanks, all the important information. Still no support base, so this is purely just for observers and for information, and it looks like he's actually gotten there ahead of, at least that first observer got there ahead of the turret, so that's going to be good for Flash. He'll be able, or for Jangbi, he'll be able to see the number of factories and keep a decent tank count and things like that. So that's really good for Jangbi, getting his third base up and running. Flash just looks like he's content to just macro up and power up here. We'll see if it's going to be a 2 or 3 base play here. This is what I want to see from Flash. If it's going to be a 2 base, maybe like a 2-1 push, a 110 timing push, something like that. Or if he's going to wait for more upgrades, maybe even get a third base and try and make like a huge maxed army push. Flash's timing attacks are the stuff of legends. They are very, very hard to stop. If you remember watching Best during the Pro League Grand Finals, he had so much trouble, Best did, fighting off Flash's timing attacks. And his contains, Best just really struggled with it. Fought it as well as he could, but just could not deal with it. And Flash won with those really nice timings. And what will he do here? I think it's going to be something similar, some sort of timing attack. I'm just wondering whether it's going to be 2 or 3 bases from Flash. Jangbi getting that Citadel of a Dune up with this third base, so going to get that speed lots going. Probably going to be taking up 2 Arbiters. I hope he doesn't do what he did on Bloody Ridge, the first game of the series, when he decided to get Templar tech and then go Carriers. I thought that was terrible. I hated it. I hated watching that happen, but it did, and he lost that game to Flash, and hopefully he'll do just straight up Arbiter play on this map with recalls in particular being very effective with, once again, we go back to that. Even though we haven't seen dropship play, the fact that your base is very open and easy to invade from the air, Arbiter play with recall is very powerful, as well as any sort of dropship play from Flash. It does look like Flash is building a bunch of turrets. Look at this. He's got 1, 2 turrets, 3 turrets. He's got a bunch of turrets ringing his base right now. He's really worried right now, playing really cautiously. I believe he scanned the 12 o'clock position. Yeah, he did. You already saw the scan go off in the 12 o'clock position a little bit ago, and didn't see a base there. So I think he thinks that this is going to be a 2-base power coming his way. I don't know if he knows about that 10 o'clock base. I think he thinks that there's going to be some sort of heavy timing attack coming in from Jangbi, and there is no such thing, because we don't see any vultures from Flash right now. And normally when Flash sees an opponent taking a lot of bases like this, Flash will produce a bunch of vultures with mines, maybe even accompany it with a dropship and try and punish his Protoss opponent. That's been a staple of his TVP for so long, but in this game it just looks like he's going pure tank. I think he's going to turtle up, and he's looking to take this third base right now. He already has a command center floating over there, and I think he might just be going for a later push here, but I think this is a little bit of a mistake. I think he could have gone with a more vulture play. You can see Jangbi with very few Dragoons, leaving himself quite vulnerable, and but Flash not looking to take advantage of that at all. Jangbi is going to scout out this third base at the 6 o'clock position. He doesn't have nearly the forces to do anything about it, so he's just going to scout that out, know that it's there, as he takes his 4th base there at the 12 o'clock. That is going to be a mineral only. There, the Stargate is producing the first Arbiter, and this has been a pretty passive game. We're getting up to Arbiter attack without any pushes, without any real fights. Basically, I think probes are the only thing that have died so far. Probes and SCVs? Yeah, I think probes and SCVs are the only things that have died so far this game. So pretty passive here as we go on into almost approaching the 10th minute. Jangbi continued to add gateways pylon wall at the 12 o'clock to try and narrow the effect of vultures on this map. Otherwise, they would be able to swing around and be able to hit all of basically Jangbi's forces and bases from the backside, which is not something he wants. Jangbi taking some pot shots at that scouting engineering base and forcing it to retreat. And Flash adding some more factories. So we're just going to continue into this macro game. Doesn't even look like either player wants to harass. Very, very odd to see this from Flash. Flash usually harasses. I've said that before. I'm going to say it again. Flash usually harasses with vultures, but doesn't even look like he has the upgrades. Looking at the vulture, no mines. I don't even know if it has speed yet. Wasn't watching that closely, but just really surprised here to see Flash playing so passively. I really think that he thought that Jangbi was 2 base powering. He scanned the 12 o'clock position, saw no base there at the mineral only, and just apparently didn't think that Jangbi would take that 10 o'clock gas expansion before. And I think that's really going to hurt him if that's what he's assuming. I think that's really going to hurt him in his plans. We can see Jangbi already up 20 psi count. Generally speaking, in Protoss versus Terran, Protoss is usually up 10 to 15 psi due to the macro, but once you start pushing that 20, 25 psi, you're talking about approaching a pretty important difference here. Right now, it's mostly just workers, as Jangbi's just adding 6 more gateways or something like that. So he's getting up about 12 gateways or so, first Arbiter out as well. But we are approaching that point when Jangbi is actually getting kind of ahead right now. In terms of, I mean, already up 4 bases to 3, getting his 5th base up, and his tech is certainly on par, and his psi count is 30 ahead right now. So Jangbi with some advantages here as we move into the later stages of the mid-game, as we wait to see what kind of push Flash goes for. As Flash just continues to turtle here, Jangbi takes his 5th base, could even see him take a 6th base at the natural expansion of that other main. And yeah, Jangbi looking in pretty solid shape right now. Flash obviously not harassed, and when Flash pushes out, that it's always powerful and always scary, so you never know what can happen. Even though it looks right now Jambi's up 25 psi, it looks like he's in good shape. More bases, more of a lot of things. Flash's pushes are very, very well executed, and he always expands behind his pushes. These are characteristic traits of Flash, and he does really, really well with them. They've led him to 3 OSL victories, 3 MSL victories, and Pro League victory, as we just saw. We do have some vultures now heading off the left side of the map, heading north, looking to try and do some economic damage, perhaps laying down some mines to stop any sort of counterattack. And no, it looks like that's it. I thought that he might be trying to get up into the other bases to see if he can swing around, maybe do some economic harassment, but not willing to commit to that yet. We've got some more gateways coming up for Jangbi at that other main, so he's up to what, maybe 17 or so gateways approximately. So getting towards that 20 gateway count, which is about the point where you're just like, Jesus, that is way too many. That is just way too many gateways if you're a Terran watching, because at about 20 gateways, you figure 2 rounds of units is 80 psi. That's basically your entire army. You can basically swap army, and in 2 rounds of production, Protoss has rebuilt their entire army, which is freaking scary and powerful. So something to watch out for. I always use 20 gateways as kind of the count for when I'm just like, wow, you are in really good shape, Protoss, and you've got a lot of things going your way. We have upgrades coming up from both players. I think Flash is waiting for maybe a 2-1, 3-2 push, probably a 3-2 push at this stage, 3-2 push. He's at about that 180 mark, which is usually a timing attack for Terran players, and it looks like this Arbiter actually going to come in here for a recall. There are turrets, but not enough, and there are a lot of turrets, but they were not enough, and those mines only doing a little bit of damage here. And here come the Zealots just wandering around right now, trying to do as much harassment as they can. Most of them have gone to the south, maybe looking for tanks. Flash disengaging just a few units, a very fractional amount of units from his main force to try and deal with this. A lot of those turrets have gone down, opening pathway perhaps to future recalls if Flash doesn't rebuild those. At the same time, just Dragoons left. Looks like all of these Zealots have gone down. They did pick off one tank, I believe, and now the Dragoons look like they're picking off at this barracks, trying to take it down. Some Vultures going down, and Dragoons being lured into these tanks. They are going to get obliterated by the tanks. Jangbi now sees it is going to retreat them a little bit, take a couple more shots off on that barracks, but I don't think he's going to be able to take that down. Looking at the side count, you still see that Jangbi is still ahead despite using all of those forces. He killed maybe a half dozen Vultures and some and one or two tanks, but did not kill a whole lot there. That recall maybe opened up a gap that he could recall again, but overall, the overall effectiveness of that recall pretty minimal. Maybe delayed Flash's push by maybe another 30 seconds to a minute, so maybe gives him just a little bit more time to get that 6 base that he's thrown up operational. Those kinds of little things that maybe helped him, but no major damage done right now. And Flash now unsieging his entire forces, looking to make a huge push here. This is going to be the 180-3-2 push coming from Flash. Super powerful, very, very difficult to deal with. Jangbi actually looks like he's looking for an engagement too. Look at this. Both armies on a collision course, ready for Armageddon. This is going to be awesome. Will Jangbi run into it? No, he is going to be wise and back off. Does not want to run into the siege tanks. He wants to try and hit when they are a little bit, not all of them are sieged up when they're kind of in that process of sieging and things like that. You can try and save your forces that one extra volley during that attack, and that's kind of what you're looking for, trying to save yourself that much more damage. Jangbi is stockpiling resources at this moment, for when the engagement comes, he will be able to resupply very, very quickly his army. We also have storms. Jangbi's epic storms against Nada. If you haven't seen that, go freaking watch it. How have you not seen Jangbi storm the frick out of Nada? Coolest play ever, and it looks like we might be seeing that again. Here he comes, coming in here for an attack, and we do have a couple stormers on the ground as well as those in the shuttles. Here comes a storm, and there's a stasis going off now, catching 3 of the tanks, and storms going off on the front tanks, and more storms being dropped off in the shuttle. Storms all over the back tanks, all over the back tanks. They are all half dead, and that big storm's coming off by Jangbi. Is there enough? No, not enough tanks, not enough Zealots, not enough Dragoons to take out the rest of these siege tanks, but they are highly damaged siege tanks, and Flash's push has been largely nullified. He's down to about 120 side. Jangbi still hovering around 100, reproducing his army as fast as he possibly can, and Flash looks like he's going to try and take advantage right now. He's got a small window right now with all of these damaged tanks, so all of these damaged tanks can be taken down quickly. He's got to be careful, keep his units well protected, and some storms going down, actually picking up a couple of those highly, highly damaged tanks. Right now, Jangbi just hurriedly trying to create as many units as he possibly can. Going to reinforce from this back area. We saw this in Flash versus Best, where Best was not able, nice stasis actually right now, catching 3 tanks, where Best was not able to time this with his forces from the front, as well as reinforcement from the back, not able to time that appropriately to try and take down Flash's troops. We're going to see Jangbi try and do a similar thing here. He needs to time that appropriately. He needs to get both groups attacking at the same time. Critical to how you run a flank. It's the same when you play Zerg versus Terran or Zerg versus Protoss. You need to have all of your flanking units hit at the same time. And it looks like that's exactly what Jangbi's waiting for now. And it looks like he's going to engage from the front, trying to time it with the end of the stasis. And he's going to hit the front with a lot of Zealots out of his main. And Zealots coming in from the back as well, picking up a couple of the tanks. A lot of the tanks have gone down. 2 tanks at the front going down. The unstasis tanks, once they pop out, will be very dangerous as well. It looks like there are enough tanks reinforced, and 4 more coming in, and those 3 coming out of stasis are going to be enough to clean this up for now. Jangbi continue to produce units though. Both players with a decent amount of bank, with a decent number of minerals, able to continuously produce units. Jangbi streaming out of here with more Zealots out of this front, not timing it well with his reinforcements from his other bases, but they look like they are going to be able to take down some more tanks, but not enough Vultures, not enough Goliaths to block for the tanks at the back, as these Zealots are now hitting nice D-Matrix going off on one of the tanks, and Jangbi just trying to ignore it a little bit here, but it does go down, as well as a bunch of the other tanks. Basically all the siege tanks that were actually in siege mode have gone down. Just a couple left here at the 10 o'clock position. They have managed to take out all of the mining at that base. That Nexus is still alive, but all of the mining there has been destroyed, and now Jangbi coming here with more Zealots, basically pure Zealot, with just a few Dragoons right now being mixed in, trying to take down all these tanks. Just 3 tanks left, that Zealot with 3 kills, taking down both those tanks that were sieging the 10 o'clock position. Jangbi doing a great job here. It looks like he has fought off Flash's push, and this is going to be huge. Jangbi has fought off Flash's push. Flash has taken that 4th base, the mineral only at that back expansion at the about 7 o'clock expansion or so. But Jangbi with these 20 gateways or so, 22 gateways, something ridiculous, is continuing to macro. Flash trying to macro. Both players have spent most of their money Jangbi right now taking a 7th base up there at about the 2 o'clock position. Some vultures look like they're heading out on the minimap. Maybe going to try and hit the other main, that 5 o'clock main. Maybe try and get into there, into the main or the natural, and try and do some economic harassment. He has that opportunity. He is throwing down some more mines, and it looks like, yeah, too many reinforcements, too many photon cannons, so he's going to just throw down some mines to delay the reinforcements, and then go into that 2 o'clock position to try and take down that base, trying to at least hold Jangbi on 6 bases, and just mine off of his 4 and see if he can try and maybe lure Jangbi into a bad position, to a bad engagement, and try and even this up right now, because Jangbi definitely in the driver's seat in this game right now. You can see his Psy count up 35, close to 40. Psy still has that Arbiter tech going strong, and Jangbi playing very, very well right now. Will this Nexus go down? It's at about 100 health as the forces are just now getting in here, and the Vultures continue to pick off that Nexus. 10, 5 health, that Dick goes down. Flash able to take down Jangbi's newest Nexus. No probes there, so just taking down the Nexus, but very important for Flash able to do that. And Flash actually using those vultures going towards the top, was hoping to draw Jangbi's forces, and Flash trying to use some advanced strategic techniques with those vultures. He was hoping to draw more of Jangbi's forces up there to follow those vultures and try and take them down, and then bringing up these forces around the bottom. He's going to try and tank that 5 o'clock natural, but Jangbi had none of it. Jangbi with some sick game sense, feeling that was coming, just pulled his units back and swung around there to stop that harassment. So some sick game sense from Jangbi. A very nice play here, and some nice storms going down there, half damaging a lot of these tanks. So a nice storm again there by Jangbi, and it looks like Jangbi just has so many units. Look at all of these units, and some more High Templar coming into play here, and some storms going off on individual tanks, whatever. But it looks like, oh, stasis on an individual tank as well. But it looks like Jangbi going to come here for an attack. This is actually the kind of engagement that Flash would want. This is a good spot in terms of the narrowness of the field and the number of tanks. But is this going to be enough stone? I don't think it is. I think Jangbi's just A-walking into this at this point. So many Zealots and Dragoons, and it looks like he's going to be able to take this game. Another stasis going off on just catching one tank and his couple vultures. Storms going off there as well. It looks like he's going to take this. Jangbi looks like he's just about taking this. All of the tanks have gone down. Jangbi will emerge victorious out of the second set. Will force a game 3 against Flash. What a game, what a game. Storms going down on this 3rd base, picking off all of the SCVs. Jangbi wants to give us a smile, but holding back right now. Jangbi has us in the bag. This game is over, just waiting for GG from Flash. Epic attack here from Jangbi. Fantastically played. What a game. And Jangbi just streaming in some more Zealots, and Flash just hanging on by the barest of threads right now, but it doesn't matter. Flash is out of this. Not even Flash will be able to get himself out. This game is over. And Jangbi with some nice Zealot defusals, just using a couple Zealots to take out what remained of those mines, and now the Zealots just streaming in, and there aren't even many Dragoons, aren't even many of anything else, just Zealots will be able to clean this up and theoretically forced it. There is the GG from Flash, and the crowd goes wild. Jangbi has forced a game 3! Excellent work by Jangbi. So this is going to be awesome. We're going to go on to set 3. It's on Gladiator, which historically has been a pretty good map for Protoss, so maybe, just maybe, Jangbi can somehow take down God Flash, freaking ridiculous player that he is. But Flash looks gotta be kind of upset with himself, misreading Jangbi's play. I really think that he thought Jangbi was gonna go for a power build off of 2 base. He scanned that 12 o'clock base. I think that kind of messed him up a lot in that game. Went Turtle instead of Vulture Harassment, and that played right into Jangbi's hands, let him play huge macro and build up these 20 gateways, and took Flash down. So we get a 3rd set. Jangbi very, very happy, and so am I. I'll see you guys all in the 3rd set. It's gonna be on Gladiator. See you soon.